The arena was a cauldron of noise, a sea of faces illuminated by the harsh glow of overhead lights, each spectator leaning forward in anticipation of a battle that had been brewing since the final bell of their first encounter. JAIME Munguia, Mexico's hard-hitting prodigy, stood in his corner, his shoulders squared, his gaze fixed with an intensity that could pierce steel. Opposite him, Bruno Surace, the tenacious Frenchman, bounced lightly on his toes, his eyes betraying a quiet resolve beneath a mask of calm. This was no mere fight. This was the rematch, a second chapter in a rivalry that had captivated the boxing world. Their first clash had been a brutal ballet of power and precision, leaving fans hungry for more, and tonight, under the weight of national pride and personal redemption, both men were ready to etch their names into the annals of the sport. The referee signaled, the bell rang, and the saga of Mungia versus Surace reignited with a ferocity that shook the rafters. From the opening moments, it was clear this would be no tentative affair. Mungia, with his trademark aggression, surged forward, his fists already seeking their target. His jabs were sharp, probing, each one a question aimed at unraveling Surace's defenses. The Frenchman, however, was a study in composure. His footwork was fluid, his head movement subtle yet effective, allowing him to slip Munguia's early onslaught with the grace of a matador. A quick counter left from Surace snapped Munguia's head back, a statement that he was here to fight, not to fold. The crowd roared, sensing the electricity of a rematch that promised to outdo its predecessor. Mungia, unfazed, responded with a vicious right to the body, the kind of punch that could steal breath and sap resolve. Surace grimaced, but stood his ground, firing back with a crisp combination that drew a nod of respect from his opponent. The opening round set the tone. This was war, and neither man would yield easily. As the second round unfolded, Munguia's strategy became clear. He aimed to overwhelm, to impose his will through sheer force. His punches came in waves, each combination designed to break through Surace's guard. A thudding left to the ribs, landed with a sickening sound, and the crowd winced in unison. Munguia's power was undeniable, his reputation as a destroyer in full display. But Surace was no ordinary foe. His resilience was matched only by his ring intelligence. He pivoted, circled, and countered, landing a stinging uppercut that momentarily halted Munguia's advance. The Frenchman's corner erupted, urging him to keep moving, to stay elusive. Mungia, however, was relentless, his eyes locked on his target like a predator. The round ended with a furious exchange in the center of the ring, both men trading blows as the bell's clang cut through the chaos, leaving the crowd buzzing with adrenaline. The third round saw the fight settle into a brutal rhythm. Munguia's pressure was unrelenting, his fists a constant threat as he worked to cut off the ring. Surace, ever the tactician, used his speed to frustrate his opponent, slipping punches and landing counters that kept the Mexican honest. A particularly sharp right cross from Surace caught Munguia flush, drawing a murmur from the crowd and a fleeting smile from the Frenchman's corner. But Munguia's response was swift and punishing, a three-punch combination that forced Surace to the ropes. The Frenchman clinched, buying time, his breath heavy but his spirit unbroken. The crowd was on its feet, their cheers a deafening backdrop to the unfolding drama. This was not just a fight. It was a test of endurance, a clash of wills played out under the unforgiving lights of the arena. By the fourth round, the physical toll was becoming evident. Munguia's face bore the marks of Surace's precision, a cut above his eye beginning to swell. Surace, too, showed signs of wear, his ribs reddened from Munguia's relentless body attack. Yet neither man slowed. Munguia pressed forward, his punches carrying the weight of a man determined to end the debate from their first fight. He trapped Surace against the ropes, unloading a barrage of hooks and uppercuts that tested the Frenchman's durability. Surace, however, was a master of survival. He absorbed the punishment, his arms high, his body twisting to deflect the worst of the blows. When an opening appeared, he struck back, landing a double jab followed by a right hand that rocked Mungia. The exchange was a microcosm of the fight power versus resilience, aggression versus guile. The bell rang, and both men returned to their corners, their chests heaving, their faces etched with the strain of battle. The fifth round brought a shift in momentum. Mungia, sensing the need to assert dominance, began to vary his attack. He mixed body shots with head-hunting punches, aiming to confuse and overwhelm. A particularly brutal left hook to Surace's midsection drew a gasp from the crowd, the sound of impact reverberating through the arena. Surace, however, refused to buckle. His counterpunching remained sharp, his ability to slip punches a testament to his skill. A quick combination jab, cross, hook caught Mungia off balance, and for a moment, the Frenchman seized control. The crowd roared, torn between admiration for Surace's heart and awe at Mungia's relentless pressure. The round ended with both men trading blows, their faces a mask of determination, their bodies pushed to the limit. As the fight entered the middle rounds, fatigue became a factor, but it only heightened the stakes. Mungia's power was still a constant threat, his punches carrying the kind of force that could change the fight in an instant. Surace, however, was a picture of resilience. He took shots that would have felled lesser men, responding with counters that showcased his technical brilliance. In the sixth round, a pivotal moment arrived. Mungia landed a thunderous right hand that staggered Surace, sending him stumbling toward the ropes. The crowd surged to its feet, sensing a finish. Mungia pounced, his fists a blur as he sought the knockout. But Surace, with the instincts of a seasoned warrior, survived. He clinched, moved, and fired back, landing a desperate counter that bought him time to recover. The round ended with Mungia in control, but Surace still standing, a testament to his unbreakable spirit. The seventh round was a study in attrition. Mungia's aggression was unrelenting, his body shots aimed at slowing Surace's movement. The Frenchman, however, refused to fade. His footwork remained sharp, his counters precise. A particularly memorable exchange saw Surace land a three-punch combination that rocked Mungia, drawing a roar from the crowd. The Mexican responded with a vicious uppercut that forced Surace to clinch, his face contorted in pain. The fight was now a test of heart, each man digging deep into reserves of strength that only the greatest fighters possess. The crowd was in a frenzy, every punch met with cheers and gasps, the atmosphere electric with the weight of the moment. In the eighth round, Surace showed his mettle. Despite the punishment he'd endured, he found a second wind, landing a series of sharp counters that caught Mungia off guard. A right hook snapped Mungia's head back, and for a moment, the Frenchman seized the momentum. Mungia, however, was not to be outdone. He responded with a flurry of punches, driving Surace to the ropes. The exchange was brutal, both men trading blows with reckless abandon. The bell rang, and the fighters returned to their corners, their faces bloodied, their bodies battered, but their resolve unshaken. The crowd stood in awe, knowing they were witnessing something special. The ninth round saw Mungia redouble his efforts. His corner urged him to push for the knockout, knowing that Surace's resilience could sway the judges. He landed a series of heavy shots, each one drawing a wince from the crowd. Surace, however, was defiant. His eyes burned with determination, and he fired back with a flurry of punches that caught Mungia off guard. The round ended with both men standing toe-to-toe, their punches a testament to their refusal to quit. The arena was a cauldron of noise. The fans on their feet, their cheers a tribute to the heart on display. The 10th round was a war of attrition. Mungia's power was still evident, but Surace's heart was undeniable. The Frenchman landed a stunning left hook that rocked Mungia, a reminder that he was still dangerous. Mungia responded with a combination that drove Surace to the ropes, but the Frenchman slipped away, avoiding the knockout blow. The crowd was in a frenzy. Every punch met with roars of approval. The fighters' faces told the story. Mungia's jaw was set, his eyes burning with purpose. Surace's expression was one of defiance, a man refusing to be broken. The 11th round brought a defining moment. Mungia landed a crushing right hand that sent Surace to the canvas. The arena exploded as the referee began the count. Surace, with the heart of a champion, rose to his feet, his legs unsteady, but his spirit unbroken. He fought back, landing a counter that stunned Mungia and kept the fight alive. The bell rang, and the crowd stood in awe of the courage on display. The 12th and final round was a fitting climax. Both men, exhausted but unyielding, left everything. In the ring, Mungia's power was matched by Surace's resilience, their punches a testament to their refusal to quit. The final minute saw them trade blows in the center of the ring, each man pouring his soul into every shot. When the bell sounded, the arena erupted in a standing ovation. The fighters embraced, their mutual respect evident in the exhaustion etched on their faces. The decision was close, the judges' scorecards reflecting the razor-thin margin between victory and defeat. As the announcer read the scores, the crowd held its breath.